Cartoon Network was one of my favorite channels growing up. It had the best shows than any other channel had. Throughout my childhood, I enjoyed watching Total Drama Island, Flapjack, Chowder, and other hilarious Cartoon Network originals. When the Check It era began, I was excited for a brand new wave of Cartoon Network original cartoons. And one of them was Regular Show. It was one of my favorite shows as a preteen, but there was this one day where it changed my entire outlook on this cartoon for life. In April of 2015, I was 15 years old and was finishing my first year of high school. It was a Saturday morning on the week of spring break, and I was living at my dad's house at the time. I decided that I was going to watch some cartoons on Cartoon Network in my room while I was having breakfast in the kitchen. I had a TV in my room, so I didn't really need to use the TV in the living room. After breakfast, I went into my room and turned on the TV, and Adventure Time was on. Adventure Time was another favorite of mine of the Check It era at the time. As the show was finishing, the screen bug that shows up on the bottom right of the screen for the next show popped up and it said, "Next, new regular show." I was overexcited to see that a new episode of my all-time favorite show was next. But the strange thing was that it was Saturday morning, and Regular Show aired new episodes on Mondays at 8 p.m. I was overexcited to see that a new episode of my all-time favorite show was next. But the strange thing was that it was Saturday morning and Regular Show only aired new episodes on Mondays at 8 p.m. I decided to just shrug it off and continue on with it. And at that point, I didn't realize that I was in for a lifetime of mental scarring. After Adventure Time finished, the screen unexpectedly went black. Usually the next show would instantly start, but in this case, it didn't. I was thinking that Cartoon Network was just having a bit of technical difficulties getting the episode to start. After 8 seconds of a black screen, the title card of Regular Show finally started. It began with its usual intro until the episode name appeared, and things started to get more eerie. The name of the episode was called Regular Hell, and I couldn't believe that the title had an actual swear word in a kid's cartoon. They do use piss, crap, and screw up, but nothing like this. The episode started with Benson in his office with a smile on his face, focusing on his work which he was writing on a piece of paper with a pen. Another strange thing that I saw was that the animation wasn't like the usual animation used throughout the series. It was the same animation they used for the Regular Show pilot episode that was later reused for Season 2 episode First Day, which was another sign that the episode was definitely not going to be a typical one. As he was writing, he suddenly hears a loud bang and stops to hear where it came from. He said as he looked around the room for a few seconds. Benson said as he then began to develop the thought that he was probably just hearing things, and continued on with his writing. He then hears another sound, which was glass breaking and hard laughing, which came from Mordecai and Rigby. Benson then started to turn red and get angry with steam coming from his head, and I could hear the gumballs rattling in his head. He started to write faster and tried to ignore it, but he heard a third sound as if something heavy fell and got even more angrier and began to growl. The scene then cuts to Mordecai and Rigby in their room doing their shenanigans like always. There was a lot of broken stuff all over the floor, and the TV they had was completely broken with the screen shattered. "Oh yeah, that was awesome," Rigby said with excitement. "Come on, dude, give something else to smash," Mordecai said with excitement as well. He had a baseball bat in his hand and was using it to smash stuff with. Okay, Rigby said. He goes through the pile of junk on the floor and finds an old lava lamp. "Hey Mordecai, what about this?" Rigby said as he showed Mordecai the lamp. "Alright, good find, Rigby. Now let's smash that old piece of trash," Mordecai said as he was ready to swing the bat. "Okay, here it comes." "Huh!" Rigby said as he threw the lamp toward the bat. Mordecai then swings the bat, which hits the lamp, and the lamp shatters into pieces, spewing wax and colored liquid all over the place. "Oh!" Mordecai and Rigby said together. Then they began laughing on how much they liked it. "Wow, that was so much fun. Let's smash some more stuff," Rigby said. "Aw yeah," Mordecai said. As they were about to smash something else, a loud, angry opening of the door was heard. It was Benson, and he was raging mad. "Oh, hey Benson, we were just getting rid of some stuff that we don't need." Are you okay?" Mordecai said nervously. Benson was huffing and puffing with his teeth clenched together. He had sweat coming down from his head from how angry he was. "Look, Benson, we're sorry. We'll clean it up right away. We promise," Mordecai said worriedly as he and Rigby began to back away from Benson. "Yeah, man, we'll clean it," Rigby said with a frightened look on his face. Benson then slowly walked towards the two as they continued to back away. "Benson?" Rigby said, looking more frightened. Benson then growled and grabbed the two by their necks. Mordecai and Rigby began gagging as they were being strangled by their own boss. "Benson, what are you doing?" Mordecai said in a strained voice. "Something that I should have done a long time ago," Benson yelled. He then stomps his way toward the window while Mordecai and Rigby continue to gag. "Say goodnight," Benson said in rage. Benson then screamed and violently threw the two at the window, causing them to smash through it. The two began to scream as they ultimately fell to their death. I heard a loud bone-cracking sound off-screen after the screaming stopped. It was a really devastating thing to see, and I couldn't believe that he would do that to his own workers. Benson would usually yell at them to get them to work and clean up or threaten to fire them, but this was definitely not like him. He walked toward the smashed window and saw that Mordecai and Rigby were dead. Blood was leaking out of them in a shockingly realistic kind of way as they lay dead in their own puddle of blood. At this point, I just wanted to turn it off because of how horrifying it was. But I decided to keep on watching, and I now wish that I had not done so. Benson gave an evil smile at the two and was happy that they were gone. "Good riddance," Benson said. The scene then ended and the screen cut to black. After 7 seconds of a black screen, the next scene showed Benson in his apartment during the night. He was sitting on his easy chair, watching TV. He had that same smile on his face from when he was in his office. Suddenly, his house phone rings, and to his dismay, he picks it up. "Hello?" Benson said. There were demonic growling coming through the phone speaker, and Benson had a shocked look on his face. But that suddenly changed. "Yeah, okay, whatever. Bye," Benson said with an annoyed tone. He then hung up the phone, figuring it was just a prank call. He put the phone back on the stand and continued watching TV. The phone rang again. He picks it up a second time, thinking that it was going to be another dumb prank caller. "Hello?" Benson said. The same growling from before was heard again. Benson started to become angry and frustrated that someone was trying to mess around with him, but he wasn't going to take it. "Alright, who the fuck is this?" Benson yelled. I was very surprised that Benson had dropped the F-bomb, as it was far beyond of what the characters use for cursing. Suddenly, the growling became a very loud roar, which frightened Benson and made his apartment shake violently. It was so loud that I had to turn the volume down, but it was still loud. Even at the lowest volume. "Ah, leave me the fuck alone!" Benson screamed frighteningly into the phone. He then threw the phone at the wall, causing it to break into pieces, and he began to hyperventilate. I started to tremble in fear and began to think that something unholy was after him. Benson was curled up and was rocking himself back and forth in his easy chair, with tears coming down his eyes, trying to figure out what was going on. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door, and Benson got up from his chair and went to go answer the door. As he opened the door, a shade of red light started to reflect on him, and he became frightened again. Benson then slowly backed away as a shadow reflection of a horned creature appeared in the distance. No, please, no, Benson said fearfully as he was still backing away from it. Suddenly, the apartment started shaking violently, like an earthquake, and from where Benson was standing, the floor began to crack, and the apartment started to turn dark. As the cracks got bigger, rays of yellow light began to appear at the cracks formed a hole where screams of agony, demonic roaring, and flames rose from it. Benson was then grabbed by the ankle by a tentacle that emerged from the hole and fell face down onto the floor. He began to scream in terror as it slowly dragged him toward the fiery hole, and satanic laughing could be heard in the background. He tried to hang on, but his fingers just dragged along the shag carpeting, and finally, he went down into the hole. Benson's screaming quickly faded away as the hole then closes up. I heard the same demonic laughing in the background for a few seconds, but this time it was a bit distorted, and then the screen faded to black. After about 5 seconds, the next scene appeared, and it was in a point of view. Benson could be heard moaning while an eyelid effect began to appear. I couldn't make out the background, but it was kind of red. Then, the scene changed to a close-up on Benson's face as he was opening his eyes. He then sat himself up and rubbed his head. Where the hell am I?" Benson said in a tired-like tone. The place had spiky hard grounds and flames everywhere. I got so scared that I ended up curling up in my blanket. "Why, you're actually in hell," a demonic voice said. Benson was then fully awake and looked up to see the red devil with black horns, wings, a muscled body, and black pants was standing in front of him. I began to think at that moment that this was the show's version of the devil himself, and hell entirely. "Wait a minute. I remember you. What do you want from me?" Benson said, worriedly as he began to slightly tremble in fear. "Well, let's see here," the devil said. He then pulled out a tablet that looked almost like the Apple brand, but had a pentagram symbol for a logo, and began to scroll through and tap on it for a few seconds. "Ah, Benson Dunwoody, that's you, right?" he asked. "Yes, sir," Benson said worriedly again. "Current park manager at the park, former drummer for Hair to the Throne and stick hockey champion," the devil said as he continued to scroll through the page. I saw that all of Benson's personal info was stored onto the tablet, including his age, in which it said that he was 31. I also saw a picture of him holding his world's best boss mug and smiling, which was obviously his profile image. How did the devil know about Benson, and how can he go to hell if he's not even dead? I thought. It just really confused the fuck out of me. Ah, here it is. According to my tablet here, you deliberately threw your 2 park employees out of the window just because they were slacking off. Is that correct? The devil asked. Yes, sir, but I didn't really mean to. They were destroying stuff and I was just trying to teach them some responsibility, Benson said kindly, but still scared. Oh, you didn't really mean to? Well, maybe this will refresh your mind, the devil said in a mockingly tone, as he then gave Benson his tablet, which showed a video of the incident. Say goodnight, Benson said in the video as he threw the 2 out the window, and their screams are heard once again. Benson started to have a devastated look on his face as he continued to watch. The video then ended with Benson saying, "Good riddance," as he had the evil smile on his face. Benson started to become regretful of what he had done earlier and looked like he was going to cry. Alright guys, this has been Logan. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have, drop a like. If you made it this far and you actually like the video, make sure to go check out my previous Creepypasta. I'll have the link pop up right now. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button below with the notification bell on to be notified whenever I upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.